years now. I'm talking to Kevin Erlinger. He is our technology coordinator. One of my favorite people in the building who I probably end up running to way too often, but he's kind about it, so I appreciate that. Kevin, you've been in the building for 20 years now. 21 years.
Yep.
You've just been tech coordinator since I've been here?
Yep, 3 years. This is my 3rd year in that position.
So I want to talk to you about our new web filter this year, but I sort of can't help asking if we even had computers in our building when you first got here, or...
Well, I started in 1989, and yes, there were computers in the building. When I started here, there weren't a lot of computers. We actually had Apple IIe's, the green screen machines, if you remember those at all.
I think my parents had one.
Yeah, there were a handful of those. There were obviously some computers in the offices, which I believe at that time were mainframe computers. And we had a math lab that had Plato terminals. About 91, I think, was the first time that we really started, 1991, seeing a wave of what I would call personal computers coming in.
And were those for student use yet, or just for...
Those were for student use. We acquired those and set up our first computer lab, I think it was in 91 or 92.
Wow.
So.
What about internet? When did that start being something that was regularly used or even
regular
available?
Force. Again, I'm thinking that's about 1992, 93, where we first saw the first part of the internet. And it was interesting because it was so much fun because, you know, we were playing around looking at what was all on the internet, and then we would always joke because we could see a serious change in the internet speed in the afternoon.
Okay.
And we'd always say, well, California woke up and, you know, they're now online, and we could seriously see the bandwidth just like
drop down.
And the speed of the internet would go way down. So that was about, you know, the start of what we saw, or at least here in Champaign-Urbana.
Well, the reason that I wanted to talk to you is because I know that this year at the middle school we have a brand new content filter.
Yes, we do.
That has blocked all kinds of resources that
Yes, it has.
we've enjoyed up until now.
So now we're blocking some resources that I really wish we weren't. But there's, you know, there are arguments for why that's happening in debates, and we're going to start that communication actually very soon to discuss social networking, to discuss YouTube and other resources that unfortunately we don't have available to us right now.
Now, is that something, it seems like our kids use those things all the time outside of school, just for their own purposes. Do you think those are things that they should have access to here in the building?
It's a really good debate. You know, I feel like I'm kind of caught in the middle of this whole debate. Personally, yes, I think the kids should have access to it, and you teach the kids responsibility. But then, you know, you listen to the people who are in a different position than I am, and they talk about liability and the legal aspects of it, and they certainly make a good case.
Well, and it seems like part of our job should be teaching them how to interact with those things professionally.
Right.
I mean, you or I know not to pull out our phone and start text messaging someone while we're in a conversation with a boss or a
Kids
new
don't know
acquaintance.
that, though.
Yeah, and maybe hiding their phones isn't the way to teach them.
Right.
Maybe teaching them when to get their phones out is the way to do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to adapt in education as well and bring those things in. And you know, the instant messaging, texting could actually be utilized quite well in the classroom. You know, we're spending thousands of dollars on clicker systems, and yet
the kids all have a clicker.
They all have a clicker with a cell phone in their pocket, and somehow, you know, somebody's going to get smart enough in education and figure out that it's just a, you know, one little device you have to buy, or one piece of software that has to be implemented that allows that to become your clicker system, and there you go. You know, so the biggest thing in education is not real good at this, or we are not real good at this in education, is adapting as technology presents itself to us.
Well, thank you for talking to me about this today.
No problem.
For being
My
so
pleasure.
flexible with what our kids do.
That's good for the kids.
That can be fun.
Cut!